Hi everyone, this is Module 8, Lesson 9, Text Structures. Today's reading focus is on the text structure. So we are going to look at what the overall structure of the events, ideas, concepts, and information in a text are and how we can identify them. Our learning target today is I can describe the overall text structure. A text structure is the way that an author organizes the information that's written within a text. When you can identify the way that a text is written, it helps to give you a better understanding of the topic and of the main idea of the text. There are 5 main nonfiction text structures that we are going to look at today: description, order and sequence, cause and effect, compare and contrast, and problem and solution. So let's start off with description. In a descriptive text, the text explains the main idea, person, place, or thing, and it describes the features, characteristics, and gives examples. So think about it as you have like a main topic, and then it branches off into details, features, and characteristics. Good readers think to themselves while reading, is this text describing something? There are certain signal words that can help you to identify what type of text structure you're reading. For a descriptive text, these signal words are specifically, in addition, for example, another, most, like, looks like, such as, while, also, and at, so if it's at a certain time, or on a certain date. Let's read together a nonfiction text that is descriptive, and then we will look for the signal words. The Space Needle was built in 1962 in Seattle, Washington at the World's Fair. It is 605 feet tall, or 184 meters, from the ground to the aircraft warning beacon at the very top. In addition, visitors can ride an elevator to the observation deck at 520 feet, or 158 meters. While at the top, they can also dine in a revolving restaurant near the top of the needle. Let's see if we can find the signal words. Well, it starts off by giving us one date, 1962, and then it gives us a bunch of details and it says, in addition, and it gives us some more characteristics. Wow is a signal word for a descriptive text. And lastly, also. They can also dine in a revolving restaurant. The next text structure that we are going to talk about is sequence. In a sequence text, the text is describing an event in the order that it happened, or it lists the steps of how to do something. So a recipe is a sequence text, but that's not, we're gonna look at an example of something in the order that it happened. So while you're reading, you're gonna think to yourself, is this text telling me the order of events? The signal words for a sequence text are first, second, third, next, then, last, before, after, finally, in the end, and following. Let's read this text together and then we'll pull out the signal words. When I got home from school today, the first thing I did was my math homework. I like math. I never mind doing math homework. Next, I went outside and played basketball with my friends until dinner time. Finally, I played a computer game. Dad said I could either play a computer game or watch TV. I decided to play my favorite computer game before I got ready to go to sleep. So the signal words in this text are home from school, the first thing I did, next I did this, and then I played until dinner time. So if you think about timing wise, you get home from school before dinner time. So we already know that we've gone through a certain time of day. We're started earlier and now it's getting later. And then finally, I did a bunch of things and then I went to sleep. So this author is giving events in the order that they happened. Also, for a sequence text, if you are reading a nonfiction text that has a series of dates, that's different from the text that we just looked at where it gave one date. But if you have a series of dates that start within 1 year time period and you look at it and it starts in the beginning of the year and then it ends in the end of the year, that's also an example of a sequence text. Cause and effect. So in this type of text, it is explaining an event, which is the effect, and then why it happened, which is the cause. So good readers think to themselves while reading, is this text telling me what happened or why something happened, or both? The signal words for cause and effect text are because, so, therefore, since, due to, as a result, caused, reason, consequently, and if, then. So let's look at an example. The Vancouver Island marmot is a kind of large rodent that lives high in the mountains of Vancouver Island in Canada. Climate change and logging have caused a large decrease in their population. Scientists believe that due to this, there are less than 100 of them left in the wild. So for this text, it is definitely a cause and effect text, and I know because it says climate change and logging have caused a large decrease, and due to this, which is another way of saying effect, there are less than 100 of them in the wild. The next type of text structure that we are going to look at is the problem and solution. So this text gives information about a problem and offers one or more possible solutions to solve the problem. This can sometimes get easily confused with cause and effect, and I'm going to show you how to tell the difference why. So while you're reading, you want to think to yourself, is this telling me how to solve a problem or how a problem is solved? This is different from cause and effect because think about the last example that we just read. It didn't give a solution to the problem. So yes, there's a problem that this animal, the marmot, is becoming extinct, but there is no solution to it. So that is not a problem and solution because there's no solution. So the signal words for this type of text are problem, solution, dilemma, solved, issues, caused, prevent, challenge, this led to, lead to, the main difference, and as a result. So let's look at an example and see if you can see the subtle differences between a problem and solution text and the cause and effect, which we just looked at. Spending too much time in the sun can lead to sunburn, dehydration, and even skin cancer. One way to help prevent these problems is to make sure that you wear sunscreen whenever you're outside. It's also a good idea to avoid being outside during the hottest part of the day between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. So this text is different from the previous one because it gives you an example of a problem and then how you can solve that problem. In the previous one, there is a problem and there's no solution. So the signal words that we have here are lead to, being in the sun can lead to sunburn, and one way to prevent this, which is a big problem, is to make sure that you wear your sunscreen and avoid being outside. So it gives you the problem and then it offers a way for you to solve it. The last text structure that we are going to look at is compare and contrast. In a text that compares and contrasts, it tells about the similarities and differences between two or more things. So you think to yourself while you're reading, is this text explaining to me how two things are alike or different? The signal words for this type of text, of compare and contrast, are both, neither, alike, unlike, same, different, instead, on the other hand, as opposed to, however, and as well as. Let's look at an example. Did you know that not all deserts are hot? Both hot and cold deserts are very dry, but unlike hot deserts, cold deserts have long winters when the temperatures can reach below freezing. Cold deserts also get a great deal of snow, which is certainly different from hot deserts. So we're going to ask ourselves, is this explaining how two things are alike or different? And I believe that it is because it's talking about deserts, and then it goes on to describe the similarities and differences between hot and cold deserts. So our signal words are both and unlike. So hot deserts are they're both very dry, but one is very hot and one is very cold. And then lastly, the last signal word is different. So cold deserts get a lot of snow, which is different from what we usually think when we hear the word desert. All right, guys. I am also going to put this little chart in the lesson for you today, and this is a shortcut of the name of the organizational patterns in nonfiction texts. So it has the name, and then it has the question that you can ask yourself, and then it has a little picture to help you. So you can use this as a reference today when you identify and explain the text structures as you read. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.